hello everybody, and welcome to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Once again, it's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya here, joining you from the Mechanicsburg Brew Pub, and wishing everybody who's tuning in post-Christmas, hope that you had a really Merry Christmas, and now we're looking forward to the new year. So Artie, all of those greetings to you. How are you?
Mike, I had a great Christmas, and I'm happy that we're back together and not having to do virtual again.
Yeah.
We just couldn't quite get it together last podcast, but very excited to be here with you, and excited about this podcast. I'm through Christmas, I'm heading into New Year, and then 2023, just looking for some great things there.
It still kind of looks like you walk into anybody's house right now, unexpected, and you can kind of expect it. It looks like Christmas kind of puked all over their living room still. I was over at a buddy's house, earlier today, and fortunately nobody's popped over to my house unexpected. But it's like cardboard packaging and boxes and remnants of gifts and food and everything else. You just haven't really gotten through yet. So like the fact that Christmas was kind of on a weekend this year too. It was like already it's just a busy weekend, and then a Monday off for a lot of people. Everybody's kind of been taking their time cleaning up. I know I've got little kids. They're not so little, but I still have a lot of stuff going on in the house. It's always a little messy, but Christmas messy, a little bit even more so right after the holiday.
Well, we had probably at one point in our house, we had 20 to 25 people.
Yeah.
So, that takes its toll on your house, right?
Yeah.
So no matter how...
You don't have many leftovers.
That's right. So, as much as we tried to clean up afterwards, we were still finding things. So the greatest thing, I got a Roomba for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. So I set that thing up, and it was going all over. It's like, truly, Mike, it's like entertainment.
They are.
It is.
Did you name the robot?
Yep. Rowdy the robot.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got one a couple of years ago, and my daughter's a big Marvel movie fan.
Oh, okay.
So she named it after the Guardians of the Galaxy, the tree guy. His name's Groot.
Oh yeah.
So I am Groot, right? Yeah, so whatever. Right. So we always fire Groot up, and he's part of the family now.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So we have a guest in the house today. We got a guy who's part of the ABC family for probably more than a decade, right? Artie, you want to introduce our guest here?
Yeah, you bet. Today, ran into Tom Fowler earlier today, and I said, Tommy, come do the podcast with us. And he's always good for a joke or two, and most of them we can't talk about here on the podcast, but hey, it's good to have you here, Tom.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mark.
So what's going on?
Thanks, Artie.
Yeah, Mark and Artie.
Mike and Artie. Sorry. Yeah,
it's all good. Right?
That's
I have a name. It's Mike Parker, right? And everybody combines Mike and Parker the first time they meet me, and I'm Mark. So I'm just like, hey, what's going on?
Marker.
That was me.
I'm so used to being called the wrong
He's the
name.
magic marker.
It's all right. No, but really, Tim, it's great to meet you. So
yeah, you as well. So I've been a Mug Club member since 2010, back in Camp Hill. And then whenever Camp Hill merged into Mechanicsburg, came over here and permanent fixture at the end of the bar, as probably many muggers know. And hats off to the Out of Focus, by the way, which is my anchor beverage of choice.
Nice.
Certainly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So guys, if Tom's talking beer already, we better.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
After all, it is the
Cheers.
Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Cheers. There we go. What do you got there? So you're drinking Out of Focus. All right.
Out of Focus. I'll tell you what, that Out of Focus is really, really nice.
I'm good for your inventory turns.
Good. I'd just like to let everybody know to drink Out of Focus, because otherwise Tommy's going to drink it all.
So Out of Focus, double IPA. Been around for a few years now. Delicious. What do you use? What sets that one apart, Artie? The hop combination stuff in the Out of Focus. What style is that?
Well, it's more of a West Coast, but it's actually what's considered to be a Northwest style, because it uses all those Northwest hops.
Gotcha.
So that's but it's got a nice bitterness to it, nice round maltiness to it. It's sort of that oh man, it gives you everything you want. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
and it's, if I recall, the one thing about when you introduced that beer back in I don't know, it's 2014, 2015 or something around that time. If it's been around
it's been around a while.
Yeah, when you hear double IPA, right, you're like, oh, hit me over the head with hops.
No,
right? No, you know what?
It's not
smooth
at all.
Right?
Oh,
smooth.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, really good beer.
Not bitter. There's no nasty aftertaste like you get with some double IPAs. It's just really, really good. Really smooth.
Tom, from time to time, I'll walk by the bar and he'll say, "Hey, Artie, you're out of focus." And I always say, "It's your fault. You drink it."
And you might
Don't
be right.
blame me.
You may
we
be
just
right.
Can't keep up with you.
Get bigger barrels.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, we'll just brew more. That's right.
And what do you have, Artie? Something new here?
Yeah, I've got better than the last batch. It's our ever-evolving hazy, double hazy,
Okay.
and just amazing. This batch we made with Vic's Secret and Enigma, and it is so smooth, so creamy, and just has some amazing fruit flavors. It's like I can't stop drinking it.
So
Mike.
ever
So
evolving.
as a fixture here, I can tell you that it's gotten rave reviews by everybody that's had it.
There you go.
So
Perfect.
does it change a little bit? Is that why it's called better than the last batch?
Yeah. So the idea is that we're working to improve the process every day.
Nice.
So we try different things, and sometimes they hit. Sometimes, hey, maybe it's not quite as good, but for us, it's still better than the last one.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Well,
And it has been.
It has been so far, yeah.
And that's
so
customer testimony.
There you go.
from the end of the bar.
From the back of the bus.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going in the other direction here with the beer that you guys promoted around the Christmas season. I know we talked about it last podcast around Thanksgiving. You said it was going to be ready for Christmas time, and it's the new version of the Midnight Refrigerator, which is made with the cannoli. Right, the cannoli's
that's right.
in it.
It's chocolate chip cannoli, pastry stout,
and it is delicious. So I just had somebody's calling about it right
Yeah.
now.
This is a to-go order.
Yeah. So well, hey, if you want some, check out ABC Brew Pub. ABCBrew.com is fine, or if you have Tommy's cell phone number, Tommy, you want to give that?
Yeah, let me give that right out.
But it is good. So I'm going to take a quick sip here. So Midnight Refrigerator is another brand that kind of changed from last year when it was a chocolate cherry cheesecake pastry stout. Now it's a chocolate cannoli. And is that what I'm picking up?
Chocolate chip cannoli.
Chocolate chip cannoli.
So it's think about
Delicious.
it. It's that cannoli that you get that's dipped in chocolate, and then has the little chocolate chips around the edge where the cream starts and the shell stops. Right. Then it's got that, and you bite into it. It's got that nice creamy center. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you just get the chocolate. You get the little bit of the toastiness from the cinnamon, a little cinnamon.
I was going to say, a little cinnamon.
Yeah, a little cinnamon
Delicious.
in there, just a little bit of all
All right, do
those
you mind
things.
if I try that?
Yeah, go ahead.
We
Let me
talked
give it-
about
yeah.
It's got to have some.
You're just skimming a little off the top. That's right.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
that's
delicious.
Isn't that
yeah,
great?
it's very
Yeah.
it's very good. Very
I
smooth.
described it, and you couldn't wait to have it.
I know.
I know.
Didn't you guys
Thanks, Artie.
I did a
You
great
worked
job.
with somebody locally too, right? To produce some of those the
That's
cannolis
right.
that actually went in the batch.
Yeah, Da Vinci's Bakery in Mechanicsburg, they produced, I think, over 150 cannolis that we added in. They came in for the brew, and we added 150 cannolis to that.
Wow.
And and right into the batch, and it just, I'm telling you, you close your eyes, and if you leave it in your mouth a little bit, you tend to want to drink and just swallow, but
That's
you leave it
right.
in your mouth a little bit, it just gets creamier and creamier. It's got, and it does have lactose in it. That's that milk sugar that gives you a little more mouthfeel and sweetness on your palate.
It's really, really good. So I
That
got
is
it
very
out,
good.
I got it
Smooth.
off the tap.
Yeah.
What this is? Are you also canning this?
Oh yeah, it's canned. Yeah,
Nice.
you can get it at most beer distributors in at least the center and eastern part of PA.
Awesome. All right, Midnight Refrigerator, chocolate chip cannoli pastry stout. Highly
right.
recommend.
Oh.
Really, really good.
It's
All right,
only
I
because
drink
we couldn't
IPAs.
think of a shorter name.
Right. Well, better than the last batch is an acronym on the can, right? Is it
Yeah.
BTTLB,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Better than
right,
the last
that's
batch. So it
right,
says
yeah.
awesome. Well, I love it. I love the creativity that goes on in the brew house all the time, and the guys are knocking it out of the park. So
Well, Mike,
delicious.
you can tell I'm not naming the beers anymore, right? This is coming from these guys who are brewing it. They're like coming up with these ideas, and we're like, hey, run with it. Let's go. We're having fun now.
The packaging, and by the way, I mean, if anyone has noticed, since you guys started, really canning and getting the cans distributed widely all over the place, like, I know you had a little bit of a logo change a few years ago and everything on a lot of the products, but the cans just look outstanding too. And you've got to...
They do.
Talk about it. When you walk into a can, like a bottle shop, you call them a bottle shop now, but it's mostly cans.
Right.
You know, in that like specialty brew craft section. It stands out, and they're really nice. Who are you guys working with? Is it a variety of folks, or is there somebody you want to give credit to, like just helping you design stuff? A lot of ideas from in-house that you put in the hands of a professional.
Well, yeah. I mean, we started working with a company out of Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and they've got a guy who sort of is specialized on our product. And the amazing thing is that he made it so, if you walk into a bottle shop, like you said, or a regular beer distributor now, you see the single can section, and it's like 1,000 cans.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about it is you walk in, you look at it, a lot of the cans look the same.
Yep.
There's this really dynamic, like a dragon or all this, and they all sort of blend together. And then you see ours, they're sort of simple but elegant. I don't know about it. I mean, you guys could say that or not.
No, I mean, even going into
that's
like,
not a great description. Elegant for a beer is not a great description, but you know what I'm talking about. It stands out. It's like, bam, it's clean, crisp, and I was like, bam, I went right to that. That's great. And I got to be honest with you. I walk in and look for our product, and in a lot of cases before, I'd be looking all over the place, and I couldn't, He's like, yeah, no, it's right there on the shelf. I'd go back, oh, shoot, there it is. Yeah. So I'm really happy that with the work that Nate's done, and we're really excited about moving forward.
Yeah. Does that mean, Tom, when you're looking for a beer, I mean, I think that's probably one thing. Appellation stands out, obviously, in this region as, it screams a local beer. And obviously people like to try different stuff. So when there's two ways to do that. You either find some off-the-wall brewery that maybe has a couple of cans somewhere in a store that, like you said, has some, crazy design. It might draw your eye in. But you're struggling to find out where it's actually from. Or you find a familiar brand, and then you see the variety that's being offered by that local brand. And that's kind of like what you know that you're in for something quality. And I don't think elegant is too strong of a term, because nobody wants to walk into bring a 4-pack of beer in, and it looks
like a generic black and white label.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a little scary for some.
That's like a mid-'80s term. No, but I mean, you go into like just say anybody that has, just use Wegmans as an example.
Yeah.
And it stands out. And to Artie's point earlier, when you look at that and all of these beers are like, all this stuff looks the same. There's so much similarity. Nothing really pops out. And you see that, packaging is the craft of the world.
It is. Yeah,
and
right.
Whenever you look at that, but then the contents, in addition to that, you're also very pleased with the contents of what you get.
Yeah. Well, we've said it before. There's not a whole lot of point of brewing a beer that people only want to try once, right? The shock value. You want something that maybe draws them in from a marketing standpoint. It's eye-catching. It lets them know where the beer is, who's making the beer. They trust that brand. But then once they crack it open and they taste it, they better it lives up to it. Then they come back for more.
That's right.
Repeat customers, right? That's what you need.
Without Bruce and Cliff and Scott and all the whole brewery team there in Harrisburg, we wouldn't have the liquid to match the graphics. So they really do a great job. They're keeping their O's down. The processes have gotten better and better over the last 3 years that we've had them around, and we're just so happy to have them. It's awesome.
So get a larger tank for Out of Focus. That's all I'm saying.
Is that right? I'll go buy one tomorrow. Yeah.
You're making quite a bit of it as it is. All right. Okay, well, opening up a new can of beer is kind of like opening up a Christmas present. So when we come back, we're going to take a short break. I don't know, with 3 grown men sitting around a table drinking beer here, but I'm sure we could talk a little bit about some exciting presents maybe we got for Christmas or something like that. We'll see what fell under Artie's tree this year. And Tom, maybe anything come your way? I know I've got a good story, which is kind of funny for a present that one of my children got. And I'm sure some other parents will be feeling for me, especially if they care about the quality of their lawn. So that's just a teaser. And we'll be right back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. right, and we're back here on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast for December, just after Christmas. Looking forward to New Year's Eve this weekend and welcoming in 2023. It's Mike and Artie, and we have our buddy Tom Fowler, who's joining us from the Mug Club here in Mechanicsburg. Longtime ABC customer, all the way back to the Camp Hill days. In fact, I was at a party locally here about a week and a half ago, and a family member of mine, he was saying, about the Camp Hill, just reminiscing a little bit about the Camp Hill location. You probably missed that a little bit, right?
Yeah. I gotta say, Camp Hill was like a warm, friendly neighborhood bar type of place, but the transition to Mechanicsburg has been really good. It doesn't have that like warehouse feel of like a lot of microbrews do.
Yeah.
It's got more of a homey type of...
Homely.
Well, homey.
Yeah,
homey. Yeah.
Out of focus.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's not overly bearing loud, and
it's a gorgeous space.
Yeah. So it's well done, very well done. So the transition from Camp Hill to Mechanicsburg was, a little bit of a stagger at first, but then people really got accustomed to it, and then it ended up really, really working out well. So, it's a great place to be.
I mean, it's just a simple case of you guys started out there, and it was definitely like the cheers, right, for the local area, and people found you, and came there. I know parking was always a little bit of an issue over there in Camp Hill, and definitely not here.
And roof leak.
And the leaks, and the sewer system, and keep going down the line. But here's what I'll tell you, Mike: the fact that we closed Appalachian, I lost friends over that. There are friends who said that was my favorite place to go. I'm not driving all the way out the Pike, and that's it. And we still see them every once in a while, of course, because they can't stay away forever. But for me, it was only about 3 minutes from my house.
Right. Yeah.
So my wife thought about leaving me. No, just kidding. Well, she thinks about that probably often. But
looking for brighter days ahead.
Let's not talk about that yet. But it was so easy for me to get home there. I could walk home. If I needed to.
If you really
needed
to.
Just walk across the giant parking lot and I'm home.
No, it was definitely reminiscing. That was really an original one, not an exact original location, but as far as in your early phases of growth, I mean, that Camp Hill spot, obviously people still think fondly of it, and those were good days, and definitely a fun place to be. But hey, everything, as everyone's so happy for your success and the growth of the business, that obviously it makes sense, and every place becomes home.
It's almost a graduation from Camp Hill.
Yeah, it's like moving on to the next chapter.
It's going from middle school to high school.
Right. and when you really
high school to college. Come on.
College. There you go.
All right.
But I mean,
aren't you so glad you invited me?
I am.
Well, you also have to think about it. It's like when it boils down to it, it's like please keep this location for me. It's But
there was a lot of that.
It was a little close, to keep two of them in the same area, like you said. So anyway, getting off that subject, I said that we were going to talk about hey, what did Santa bring this year, right? And I guess I'll go around the table. Artie, was there anything again for a man who has it all, that was there any surprises from the girls and that showed up on Christmas morn?
Well, I don't know about surprises. I mean, it's hard to buy for me, and I will say that my family always tells me all the time, "You're hard to buy for," and I'm like, just get me Pro V golf balls. If you ever wonder what we need, just get me Pro V golf balls. And when I get them, I go, "Oh, amazing!" I'm really excited about it. I don't think there's much else that I have or I received this year that sort of blew my socks off. But now Carrie and I are sort of buying each other. We buy each other gifts, and we pretend like we're giving to each other. Yeah. But really, they're just what we needed.
Token.
Anyway. You're a maintenance.
So how many socks did you get?
Yeah. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, like maintenance gifts. Golf balls, hunting socks, a new tie. Coffee mugs. Everybody seems a coffee mug's kind of a go-to.
I did that.
Yeah,
I did that. Yeah.
Did you fill it with anything like Hershey's Kisses or anything?
No, actually, I did buy a Boscov's. It's shaped like it's a crystal thing for my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a crystal shaped like a Hershey Kiss. Then I filled it with Hershey Kisses,
There
gave
you
it
go.
to her. Like,
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's very nice, Tom.
yeah. Well, don't
I've
expect.
never- I've
I've told her.
never seen that
Don't.
side.
I told her. Don't expect that in the future.
By the way,
Past performance does not guarantee future expectation. Just so everybody knows.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was actually surprised by that, by the way.
yeah, I think it's what you mentioned. You just said about you triggered me with a word there in a good way. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. You said Boscov's, right? I don't know how
I
everybody
love
else feels about
Boscov's.
Boscov's. I love Boscov's
I do too.
at Christmas time. It's like
Anytime.
no, but it's like so. The funny thing, I always take my children there to buy a present for like my wife, my mom, my dad. Like it's. I don't know. It's like when you watch the old Christmas movie. Like what's the two rival? Well, there's Macy's and then there's the one across.
Oh, yeah.
Gimbals,
right?
Gimbals, yeah.
Well, Boscov's is those stores for us in this area,
and
right?
Boscov's a local company. I mean, they're out of
Yes.
Reading, right?
Yeah.
So, hey,
and they have
keep
almost
your money local.
and they have almost anything that you can think of.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like I bought my granddaughter, so I just became a grandfather on September
Congrats,
2nd. Yeah.
Tom.
Cheers to that.
So that was
yeah.
So that was as far as Christmas goes, that was one of the sweetest things to have at Christmas was to have my granddaughter around. But from buying something for my son, buying something for my girlfriend, buying something for my granddaughter, it's a one-stop shop. And like most everything's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And this is not an advertisement for Boscov's.
No, but it's
everybody.
okay because, like Artie said, it's again. You just said I think it's nostalgia around the holidays, and for me, like I've seen so many of their stores, the Bonton and like Sears and stuff that used to Hills, right? These places have gone out of business, and Boscov's, you go in there around Christmas time, which is when I typically go in. They have everything that you need, and great
and
stuff.
they have plenty selection.
Yeah,
Good for them.
They have
Yeah.
the unusual items and the normal items that
Right.
you'd want. So
Yeah,
you
like
can
I just stumbled across the freaking, Hershey Kiss crystal thing, and I'm
Right.
like, all right. So I bought Hershey Kisses
we were going to a
and
Penn
filled
State
it.
game. We were going to a Penn State game in the fall, and I went in there, and they're full of Penn State stuff too. So, the Boscov's ad is over at this point.
All right,
but honestly,
so you guys can pay us later.
I just think that
send them the bill.
the decorations and it has a nice feel to it. It's something that we do every year.
Yeah.
So something new that is occurring at my house right now is I guess my son got probably the best gift of the Parker family this year. He got a dirt bike.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Right?
Did you get you a matching bigger size?
You know I
did.
no.
I did.
You're laughing.
Wait,
but I
hold on a second.
Well, so sad.
There's a little bit of selfishness here, I believe.
Well,
Well, you can't run alone.
Wait, I know.
Well, he's been wanting a dirt bike. He had a go-kart, and he's been tearing up my lawn for a couple of years. And not that he's outgrowing, because his friends come over. They still love to rip up the yard. We have like 2 acres kind of out in the country, so he's got plenty of space. But we got up to the dirt bike this year, and as we were kind of thinking about it, well, somebody's going to have to teach him how to ride.
That's
He's
right.
never ridden a clutch
Yeah,
before,
that's
so
right.
so let's just say it's not for me, but the other one's his. And the other one's
For your wife.
For the that's the Homer Simpson.
What's that? You got her the
bowling
practical
ball.
gift? So Artie got socks and a tie. You got a dirt bike, or your wife got a dirt bike.
Well, it's amazing when
I
you
got
can.
golf balls and you got a dirt bike. That's not fair, Mike.
Yeah, well, Santa, you can rely on Santa to bring one bike, but I'll tell you,
You know who's been good and who's been naughty, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
if I have one warning for anybody listening, it's don't get sucked down the wormhole of the Facebook Marketplace looking for a used dirt bike.
Oh, yeah.
You'll consume your soul. So, but it worked out in the end. I ended up finding someone who had that bike that was just what I needed. Nothing, nicely a clean used bike that I can. I had one when I was a teenager.
Sure.
And it
We all
kind
did,
of and I always wanted a motorcycle, but I never really. I kind of outgrew the desire, and. Anyway, I'm back into the dirt bike business, I guess. So,
Well, while we're talking about that, when I was a kid, before I had a motorcycle, I had a mini bike.
Yeah.
Do you remember what those?
Yeah, a little
they
fat
were like
tire,
a little
lawnmower
fat
engine.
Tire, lawnmower engine. Yeah.
Well, I had a Honda 50. So funny
that's
story.
good. All right.
So I had the brilliant idea of taking my son's Yamaha 90, and I'm like, I'm going to take this for a spin at my parents'. So we were at my parents'. So I'm like, oh, I had these trails whenever I was younger, cut through the woods at my parents' house, and going through the trail, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this one. I did a quick turn. The bike came up over, so the back end's coming up over.
Okay.
I hit a rock.
Scare me now, Tom.
Oh, yeah. I fell down.
It's just a
I'm
matter of
out
time,
over the
Mike.
bike. I just remember seeing my ankles. Is the last thing I remember seeing. I came down and I hit my left shoulder and I broke my scapula.
Oh, great.
So, of all things,
Mike,
so
I hope
not
your
to
wife's
give you
not
any,
listening.
yeah, Mike, not to give you anything to sweat about, but I came down and I was like, oh my God, that really hurt. So that was over July. That was like July 2nd. So like July 4th. That July 2nd was like a Friday, and that was in the evening, and I'm like, well, I can't really go anywhere except the emergency room. I'm not going to the emergency room. So I waited till July 5th, which was a Monday, and I go to my family doctor. I could not lift my arm. Like, I cried trying to get my shirt off, and I'm like, oh my God, I really did something bad. So I went to my family doctor, and he was like, what hospital did you go to? I'm like, hospital? I didn't go to the hospital. You're the first person I've seen. So he was like, all right, I'm sending you over to Holy Spirit. Get an x-ray. Do not leave there until we find out what's going on. Something's really bad. So I ended up just breaking my scapula, which is your shoulder blade bone. So long story short, they don't do anything for that, by the way.
Well, if it means anything, my daughter got an iPad.
Well, that was a good transition.
Sounds safer.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit safer. So,
With no helmet.
right. So, honey, when I get home tonight, I'm going to tell her, the equipment wasn't working. Just listen in January. The December podcast.
Right.
And number 2, how many out of focuses does Tommy need before he starts telling us about his old childhood dirt bike injuries?
Wait, that wasn't even childhood.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That was as an adult.
Last summer.
It wasn't that long ago.
Well, thank you for that Christmas joy. Really appreciate it.
Well, that's exciting to hear, Mike. I'm glad you did that because that's those are the things you treasure.
Yeah.
And you can take them up when you go. You go up up to the cabin.
Yep, up in the mountains.
You can go up there. You can go ride. I will warn you that there will be something that happens. Let's just hope it's not too long. But wear your helmet and you'll be fine.
It's a lot of fun.
That's right.
Well, listen, we're going to wrap things up here right when we come back. Talk to you about some new things that are coming up. You can look forward to at the Brew Pub. If you visit here around maybe making your New Year's festivities, special, or if you plan on coming in after the new year to ring in 2023, we'll be right back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. All right, we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast here, and Christmas is behind us, and we're looking forward to New Year's this weekend. It's Mike, Artie, and Tom Fowler joining us here, a longtime Mug Club member here in ABC. Was Camp Hill, and then he moved over to the big show over here in Mechanicsburg a few years back. Hanging out, talking about Christmas and beer, and I guess, Artie, it's time to look forward to if people are having a New Year's Eve party and you want to bring some holiday cheer with the Appalachian Brewing Company products in hand. What are you thinking, man? What should we be looking forward to in 2023?
I'm telling you what, Mike. If you come in here and you need something for New Year's,
yes,
we got you covered. I mean, you got your beer.
Yes,
we got your soda.
Check.
Check, right? And then we got your spirits. Mm-hmm. At least at the Mechanicsburg and the Battlefield site, you can buy spirits to go directly. So, if you need anything, we got it for you. And a couple new, we have the new sour on tap, the jellied cranberry sour, which is called Better When Canned, which you have right in front of you right now.
All right,
yep.
So a quick sample.
Here we go. Cheers
right.
One more time.
All right, tell me what this is again. It's a sour.
Cranberry sour.
Cranberry sour.
A little jellied, so it's got a little bit of creaminess to it, but Otherwise,
festive.
It's very nice,
that's good.
light, festive. That nice tartness to it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I like it a lot.
It's reminiscent of the stuff that either made fresh, depending on what party you go to, they grind it down in the little grinder and they take the the fresh stuff or the stuff in the can that everybody likes, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's sour and it's right. Sour series is something you guys are doing and
that's right.
Trying a lot of different stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the fruit series, and that's FRU umlaut T. So fruit.
Umlaut.
Umlaut. Yeah,
is that like the Def Leppard thing?
Yeah.
2 dots.
2 dots are coming right at you.
Look at this.
Good. So have you tried it, Tom? Are you a fan of the sours? Go ahead here, take a little sip of that. That's delicious. I love it. Sours are something that I've been getting into. Stouts and sours have been my sort of my addiction this winter season. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I've always enjoyed the sours, and I kind of like a beer that pairs well with, has like some sort of fruitiness to it, I guess if that's a good way to put it. Sours, I'm sort of finding my groove in them. I've been experimenting with a few, and the stouts, I think I just found my new favorite, obviously with this Midnight Refrigerator.
That's really good.
That's really nice.
That cranberry?
Yeah.
You know how like some sours have like sort of like a pungent smell to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sort of like that. This does not.
Yeah, they're making it really super clean.
Yeah.
They got the fermentation down on it. It's super clean, super crisp. And mentioning stouts,
I may have to switch.
I didn't realize this, but they did some kegs of our Midnight Fridge in nitro.
Ooh.
So I grabbed one of those, and it's just, you had the nitro. You want to try the with the nitro?
This is the nitro?
You had the regular.
I did.
Yeah, this is the nitro, and it's a totally different feel and flavor.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that creamy? Just like,
that's
amazing.
Well, when you say, because nitro is something that's like widespread now too. Like, there's brand name like everything right now. Like when I say that, like I mean like Starbucks, like in a can. Like you see it on the store shelves.
Yeah.
So something like Nitro, Pepsi Nitro.
Right.
Like what is. And I know that Nitro has been around for a while, but for people who aren't so keen on what does that actually mean?
So nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Nitrogen doesn't absorb as well as carbon dioxide into beer, okay? So you really got to force it into solution. The difference is the bubble on the nitrogen bubble is much smaller than the CO2 bubble.
Got it.
So you see a regular bubble in a beer like that, you can see on the side of the beer, you can see the bubbles, and they're.
And
but look on
frothy.
this.
Yeah, and it
look
comes,
at that, how small
like
the bubbles are.
And the froth stays on the mug as you drink the...
Yep.
Yeah.
That's called the lacing. They call that lacing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something new. That's how I tie my shoes.
That's true.
So the difference is in the...
You have string shoes.
I have Velcro, but...
Good for you, Tom.
But the lacing is the foam kind of that's left around the rim of your glass after you kind of take a swig, right?
Yep, that's right. And usually that's due to having good protein formulation in the beer. Mm-hmm. The protein helps the head formulation in on top. Okay. And that good head will allow you to, when you drink, it draws down, and you'll see rings for every drink you take.
Oh, no kidding.
Now, when I drink a beer, Mike, I only have like 3 rings. But it takes me still the same amount of time as normal people to drink a beer.
Yeah.
I just tend to, take bigger drinks.
Right.
But, look at Tom. He's got little baby rings.
I know.
Look at that.
He's a sipper. He's what we call a sipper, Mike.
That's actually, that is amazing. I mean, seriously, I wasn't exactly sure. I had an idea that it kind of had something to do with somewhat like the carbonation and maybe the mouthfeel of how the bubbles feel on your palate, right? From the nitrogen.
Yep.
Cool.
So the nitrogen bubble's much smaller. So when it rolls over your palate, it tends to seem almost creamier.
Yeah.
Right? And
sense.
It's perfect with this beer. Mm-hmm. Because, and we did our espresso stout also. So now when you go to ABC, I think most ABCs, we have a new nitro tap. and the guys are committed to doing a new nitro beer once a month.
Awesome.
So it's exciting. Yeah, and it might be Jolly Scott one month. It might be Susquehanna Stout. It might be an IPA. But how great is that?
I
You're
would
going to
love
try
that.
that.
Yeah, that just changes up. Like you take one of the
Yeah.
flagships and gives it a whole new twist. Yeah, and this cranberry sour, what I'm picking up in this is, I know this sounds funny, so don't. I know that it's not a seltzer or anything like that, but it has like a sharp carbonation to it, almost like it's like not a.
It's a crispy.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's effervescent.
It really, effervescent.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
That's right.
I've described it perfectly
You
for
did.
the Beermeister.
That's right. You were searching for the word, and I helped you out. That's all that matters.
Awesome. So New Year's Eve, guys, anything going on? I mean, a late night, or are we early? Or do we wait for the ball to drop, or what's going on?
I got to tell you, other than we have a lot of great beer in PA, right? But I'm going to Asheville for New Year's this year. My wife and I were invited by some friends.
Cool.
So we're going to drive down there and spend New Year's down there and drive back, I think, on Monday after New Year's.
Very good.
But we're very excited about that. And I feel bad that I'm not going to be here with you guys, but you know what? I had a better offer.
Yeah, you know.
Wow.
No offense.
So, well, hey, that's why we're here now.
So what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Tom, what's up going on?
I have really no big plans. New Year's Day, just going to my mom's and doing the traditional pork and sauerkraut, which
Oh, good.
That's what I'm going to miss.
I know.
Oh,
I
no. I didn't think about that.
And I hate the smell of sauerkraut.
Oh,
So,
no, I love
yeah.
it.
No, I'm like, could you cook that like outside or do something? Yeah.
And your
yeah.
mom says, no, you go outside.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, that is it.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. She was like, you can stand in the garage.
So next year, Artie, we're going over to Tom's house. We're gonna cook up some. We're gonna make two things. We're gonna make soupies.
Okay,
We're gonna
yeah,
hang
'cause we talked about that,
We're gonna
yeah.
hang the meat in his living room, right? And then we're
Well,
gonna.
how about the family room? Because
Okay,
that's
the
like
family room.
hardwood floor.
Right.
The living
Well,
room's
where do you
carpet.
spend the
so-
most time? Because then we're gonna get a bunch of salt and some cabbage, and we're gonna come over there and stomp
Make
out
some-
the sauerkraut.
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
I'm no longer talking to either of you.
All right. Well, sour beers.
That's my
that's
New
fine.
Year's resolution.
Sour beers and sauerkraut seems like the thing for 2023. No, same thing. We'll get together with some friends very close to home, and I always like to say, just like you used to say about the Camp Hill location, if I had to walk home, I could. So
Yeah,
I'm
there you
not
go.
planning
There you
on
go.
going
Going to
anywhere
your
far.
neighbor's?
Yeah, a neighbor's house
Yeah.
usually is what we do. So I don't know. Yeah, we've been staying up, and we'll just find the wackiest stuff on TV. I mean, you'll kind of tune into the New Year's thing, but I'm getting to that age where it's like I'm wondering who some of these musical artists really are. If I really want to but then there's some alternatives out there to watch stuff too. Whether you're watching like that, there's like always like a country show on. There's like the hip hop kind of like thing in New York and with the variety of stuff. And then there's always something to kind of flip back and forth with. But mostly it's just hanging out with some friends, having some laughs and some drinks.
I sort of stopped watching that stuff with Dick Clark. When he was
Yeah.
done, I was sort of done. But we turn it on and watch the ball drop and all that stuff. But most of the time, I'll be honest with you, it's about being with friends and family, and that's what I love most about the holidays. And
I love being in bed by 10:30.
he wakes up, how'd it go? It's fun without you.
Apparently it happened.
It's better.
It's better without you. Do you have any New Year's resolutions, Mike?
Not
You
really.
try anything this year?
Resolutions. Because I already joined the gym like earlier this year, so getting in shape and everything like that is like obviously something I'm trying. It's more like maintenance at this point. I'm not trying to drop down 30 pounds or anything, but I want to stay in shape and so I can keep riding that dirt bike. And when I tear my meniscus or whatever you tore when you're
No, broke my scapula. That was a different
scapula. And,
Meniscus is a different
all
injury.
those
So
things.
let's take a pause and we'll talk about that.
Okay,
Because that
so
was
I can-
equally as exciting of a story.
I just want to be able to be happy and healthy and enjoy the family, and just like we try to do at the end of the end of the year, already Thanksgiving, Christmas, this holiday season. Give you the last word. Let your customers know and your employees know how you feel and what you're looking forward to in 2023.
Well, I'll tell you, we did a full rebrand over the last year, and it really, it was fun. It was hard. There was a lot of work to it. a lot of decisions that needed to be made. But I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about where we're going. All the brands being rebranded. We're now our new packaging is done. We've got a couple exciting things happening in 2023, and I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag quite yet. But there are some things that are happening that are going to be new and exciting for us, and really looking forward to that. We'll talk about that the next podcast. But other than that, I don't have a New Year's resolution this year. Whenever I think about that, I always think about, hey, just being a better person, and treating everybody as you'd want to be treated, right? It's so simple, I know.
Yeah,
but
is.
when you're responsible for a couple hundred people and making sure they get paid and everything that goes into that, you just want to try to be the best person you can be so that they have a role model to work after. And so that's where I go, and I know it doesn't have to be a resolution. That should be what we do every day. But sometimes you have to reflect upon it and say, hey, this is what I've got to do, even get better at it.
Well, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Artie, thanks as always for everything that you do. We appreciate it. Looking forward to so much and so many years, right?
Yeah.
So many years of Appalachian Brewing Company enjoyment under your belt. Tom, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, he hopped off the bar.
He was holding court when I went over and asked him. And
I was over there entertaining people. I came in to entertain more people.
That's great. Well, it was a lot of fun. So appreciate it, guys, for everything Appalachian Brewing Company. Of course, abcbrew.com. Check them out on social media, wherever you follow Appalachian Brewing Company products. Find them in your local store, beer distributors, grocery stores. Look for the Appalachian products. Ask for them if you can't find them. And they're not far away. You won't be disappointed. All right, guys. Well, look, one last cheers to 2022.
2022 is gone.
And cheers to everybody, 2023.
See you in a few weeks.